Welcome back. Food insecurity remains a problem across the 5 boroughs. It's an even bigger problem for our homebound elderly New Yorkers, and that's where City Meals on Wheels comes in. Now, Beth Shapiro is the CEO, and she joins us this morning to talk about those efforts. Beth, good to see you. Beth, good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
The complete mission, if you will, for City Meals on Wheels. Just share that with us.
City Meals on Wheels provides weekend, holiday, and emergency meals for homebound older New Yorkers, people too frail to shop or cook for themselves.
We have a term that you all use that we want you to explain. It's called the hidden hungry. When you say that, when you hear that term, what does that mean?
We refer to our meal recipients as the hidden hungry. They are 60 and older, average age 87. They've lived productive lives, but they can no longer get out of their apartments to shop or cook for themselves on a regular basis. And we're making sure a meal comes to them every day of the year.
How many people do you imagine you're trying to feed, Beth?
We're feeding 22,000 right now, about 2 million meals a year. We know the need is greater than that. Prior to the pandemic, 1 in 10 older New Yorkers was hungry. We know it's worse. We're actually leading a study about hunger in New York to look at what hunger is for older New Yorkers, those who have built this city for us.
We know a number of industries, nonprofit, for-profit, everyone is still trying to regain footing post-pandemic. Where are you with those efforts? Because what you're doing is so vital to the success of New York and just humanity.
City Meals really was hit by the pandemic and rose to the occasion. At the height of the pandemic, we were feeding 50,000 older New Yorkers. Prior to the pandemic, 18,000. As I said, we're feeding 22,000 now. We see an increased need. The people that we're feeding are still weary and leery about going out and going to the grocery store. They lost some of their physical capabilities even during COVID and aren't able to carry groceries back even from a corner market. And we are working hard to make sure they all get the food that they need.
Now, we know that the attention given to home wellness, particularly for our elderly, it's changed, it's taken on different faces. We just did a segment on that before you came on. Can you talk about your role? Is it the foot soldiers on the ground, just doing the door knocks to find out who isn't still in the system, who may need to be added? And just explain to us how you make contact and make sure that you're doing what you all do.
We talk about the meal and the delivery. As you said, the knock on the door. It's the deliverer checking in on an older New Yorker to make sure they're okay. Just a quick look around. They look the same, they're not. Sometimes even it's changing a light bulb. But it's really body and soul, right? The connectivity, thinking about their loneliness and isolation, and how a simple meal coming to the door and a quick check can help a person remain healthy in their own homes.
When it comes to getting people to understand that, one, it's safe to open the door, two, pride, is that still a factor? Because I've encountered just some stories that we've done, we're trying to get someone to get past that and say, you know what, I may actually, need an assist. Do you still have that barrier to try to get over?
There is still a barrier for many about getting assistance that they need. And we work really hard with meal recipients, sometimes with family distant, neighbors, to help an older person understand that it is helpful and it can help them stay healthy and safe in their home where they want to be if it's a simple meal and a quick check on the door. But we're working really hard to make sure that people do feel comfortable and safe. We're back to, making a delivery, handing it to someone versus in COVID where we would hang the meal on the door, knock and then
leave,
and
right.
Step back. And, so there is that connectivity and a closer check. And people, appreciate it.
So Beth, look, we're literally about a month away, from the actual Thanksgiving holiday, but families start gearing up, buying supplies and things. Now, how do things change for you all when we're approaching this time of year? Because we've got the high holidays, we got the regular, we get holidays, we're moving into that mode. Tell us about how that impacts your mission.
Holidays are a particularly busy time for us and a lonely time for our meal recipients. The majority are living alone. They've outlived family, friends, often even their own children. And you and I will be celebrating with our family. Our meal recipients have memories of those celebrations. And for us to be able to check on them, to bring a festive meal no matter the holiday, Thanksgiving turkey and sweet potatoes, cranberries, and to be able to let them know that they're thought of and cared about, means so much to them and is so helpful for us to be able to connect with them on those days.
Tell us about support. You know, who are you getting support from? Who could you use support from, perhaps? And if anybody wants to support you at home that's watching, what do they need to know?
I'll start with that part. It's very easy to support City Meals. Citymeals.org. You can click to donate. You can also click to volunteer. And City Meals relies on the generosity of everyday New Yorkers for our budget. We fundraise all year long. The holidays are a particularly good time to think about making a donation. You know, what does your meal cost? One meal, $8, makes a difference. So does 808,000.
Yes, ma'am.
But even every dollar counts. And we make sure 100% of all donations from the general public go to meal preparation and delivery.
As little as $8.
As little as $8, a full meal delivered to the door.
That's going to do it for us today, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. For all of us here at Fox 5, I'm Antwan Lewis. Thanks for the company. We'll see you next time for more Street Talk.